Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another study of the Spiritist magazine. Here we are to nourish our souls. I'm Shane Martin. I'm with the Spirit Society of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia, in collaboration with Kardec Radio and the Spiritist magazine. We have the blessings of being together every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We thank you for being here, dear listener, dear viewer. If you're watching this live or on demand, we are all together in this beautiful endeavor of spreading the good news of Christ wherever we go. We thank the mentors of the Spiritist magazine. Today's article is from issue 62, and it was written by or psychographed by Francisco Candido Xavier. And the spirit communicating this message to us is the spirit Meimei. So today's article is called Others' Hopes. As we start, at least when this is recorded and where I am, we start the fall season. We are thinking about back to school season, new changes in the weather and the leaves and the trees, the beautiful colors, this constant renewal of nature asking us to improve our own self, renew our own self. So today, Meimei is going to bring to you and I her wisdom, and we'll be invited to think about others' hope. As always, friends, visit spiritistmagazine.org. You'll be able to find the link to download the app for your devices, either on the App Store or the Google Store. A link to order the physical copy of the magazine if you wish to do so. It's a beautiful coffee table magazine. You can leave it at your house. You can study with your Spiritist group. It is at cost, only what takes the publisher to create the magazine. We do not profit from the copies of the magazine. All of our content is free of charge. There's also a link to the Facebook page of the magazine. There will be always a link to the newest issue of the magazine, which is, I believe, issue 65. And then we have also the ability to communicate with the editor-in-chief, to volunteer, so on and so forth. So as we talk about today's topic, Others' Hope, I'll share the screen. If you're watching this on video, you'll be able to see how the PDF version of the magazine looks like on my computer. I do have an Apple product, so yours may look slightly different, but it doesn't matter. The content is the content. I do it this way, so it's very easy for you to just pull up your app, and I can do it now. It's unlikely I'll be able to. I'm gonna show you last month's magazine. Let me make myself a little longer. So this is what the app looks like. You can just select the article you want and pass and zoom and read. And this is what the app would look like on your devices for our understanding. Here is the cover of issue 62. And then if you go towards middle to end, you'll find this article by Meimei titled Others' Hopes. So I will make it a little larger for you and I to read together and meditate upon her teachings. Meimei says, almost always we concentrate soul and life in our hopes. Oh, excuse me. Trying to make it so that only a few, there you go. Only a few sentences at a time. Almost always we concentrate soul and life in our hopes, but hardly do we find ourselves thinking about the hopes of others. Practice withdrawing yourself from self preoccupations in order to reflect on others' wishes. Let's do our first stop here. Isn't she right? Most of the time, and the majority of humanity incarnated on the earth and the discarnate friends that join us during this journey we're thinking about ourselves. What do I need? Where do I need to be? What do I need to do? How much I make? What is my house? We're always thinking about ourselves, our works, our family, my children, my colleagues, mine. We're thinking about us. And it's only fair that as a biological being, you can think of, we do need certain things: food, shelter, hygiene, discipline, mental calm, financial resources to live a comfortable life. This is enough. But she says we should not stay on this the whole time, the whole day, every weekend, so on and so forth, because then we're going to look back in decades and we will not have built anything for others. Remember, we're here to fulfill the law of society, which dictates we need to live with each other and complement one another. So she says, practice withdrawing yourself from self preoccupations to reflect on others' wishes. Remember, there are over 8 billion incarnate beings on this planet. How different would life be if we, for a few minutes a day, we start thinking about others? When I go to work, is not to fulfill my personal responsibilities only, but how can I make work be the touchstone for the good of all? How can I serve my colleagues? What are the needs of them? What are the needs of my community, my family? Just not us, others. She says, perhaps you have not become aware, excuse me, that where you are, and no matter how, you can begin the service most properly addressed to the roles of angels. So when we think about superior spirits that we lovingly call angels, they are here to do what? Yes, they are here, friends. We may not see them or perceive them, but they are here. Doing what? Helping us. They're not here for them. They're here for us. So for the needs of others. So she says, today, where you are, and no matter how, so it doesn't matter where in the world, which continent, which country, which community, no matter what your abilities are, you can begin this service that usually angels can do. And of course, they can do a little bit better because they are more advanced than we are. It's kind of like we are elementary school kindergartens in this, and the angels are professors at university. They know a lot more experience, more publications, more research, more work, and then we are still learning the ABC, right? No matter who you are, that's the beauty of these teachings, is give us hope and agency so we can do something to help one another. So she's going to give us examples of where we are and how we are, meaning what are our abilities and possibilities, how we can help others. She will say, Meimei says, I do not know if you have already noticed more closely the sad man who sometimes crosses your path near your home. We all have someone in our neighborhood who is a little bit more impressionable with sadness, with such a strange, close expression. You're still waiting for a slight smile, but try to imagine his hopes. So if we have someone in our neighborhood, or God forbid, we are the sad man or woman in our neighborhood, let's think about what is going through their lives. So she explains, he, the sad man, is a companion with a paralyzed wife and 4 children in need of support. So he has a family, a partner with a disability, a physical disability, which is an ability to move a limb, that's paralyzed means. And now he has to support, meaning provide for his children. Certainly, you do not have the means to satisfy the demands, or perhaps we have worked to have financial freedom to help someone in need in our community, and we should do so. However, among all, He has the simplest desire for the young son to be more tightly wrapped up during the night, meaning we can donate the excess covers we have, comforters we have, to someone in need. However, how can we know if we don't interact with that person who, to our hand, to our eyes, is sad, has a strange and close expression, and we are expecting them to smile? Well, what if we were the first ones to reach out? Imagine yourself in the position of the sad man with the wife with disability and supporting for children. What if someone came to you to ask, what do you need? So, friends, that's what do unto others means. When Jesus told us, do unto others, he stopped and don't. He said, do. If I would like people to perceive me and see my need, how good it would be to feel, right? If someone truly saw you and asked you what you needed. So we go and look. Every community, no matter how disadvantaged or privileged they are, there is someone in need, some need. This case, it's a blanket. Other cases are different. She says, it will not cost you much to offer this man a blanket, so his desire to have his son wrapped up, not cold, to come true. Meimei says, take heart in his condition, and it will be it will transform the bitter face into joy that lies imprisoned in his chest by the cuffs of discouragement. Maybe we have 3-4 comforters that we just have in case, or they were for a season or for a fashion trend, and now we can donate to others. Did you know? There's a lot of people who talk about how negatively social media platforms affect us, including myself in here. Yes, there are detrimental effects of being plugged in to this dopamine release machine that is our cell phones. However, there are ways to communicate and be in groups that we can curate the experience to be more positive. And of course, when we talk about children, it's a different story, but if we're adults, we can choose. One of the things that, for example, you can find on Facebook is called Buy Nothing groups, where we take what we don't need, we post, and people want, and then you get to know your neighbors. They got to pick it up, or maybe you see something there that you need, and you post to I wish a coffee maker. I wish for blankets. You know, there are needs, there are ways, because not only this man seems to us a sad, close expression, strange. We're waiting for him to take the first step, because here where I live, we are polite about respecting boundaries and not being nosy, right? Other places in the world, people are a little more open. But then we can see that there's something that may perhaps you smile, perhaps you open with how are you, not just how are you while we're walking, staring at our phones, but we actually look at people in the eye and ask ourselves, how can I serve? You don't have to say it out loud. You can say it in your mind. You can say, mentor, inspire me, my mentor, inspire me to say the right thing. Say a prayer to that person. Say a prayer to that person's guardian angel, spirit guide, so they can inspire you to do something for that person. There's so much we can do. She says, no matter where you are or how, you can be of service to others. She'll give us another example. She says, perhaps, Meimei says, perhaps you ignore that woman of an unpleasant presence that expresses herself through offensive language, but she's nothing more than asking for ingrained observation. So someone who is asking for attention. It comes out as offensive language, unpleasant experiences, right? Demanding. She was abandoned by her companion who left her with 2 defenseless little ones. Here you go. Many single parents out there, right? Single mothers, single parents. Single dads are a little bit less common, but they exist. That person who is unpleasant to us is going through difficulties. On top of not having work to assure the survival, because a lot of spouses don't, she ends up on roads that lead to more anguish. Of course, you'll not be able to alleviate all of the worries and wave a magic wand. That would be nice, right? There are people who are wealthy enough they can. Maybe not us yet. Because if we work, we live below our means, we have less, we need less, we want less, then there's more to give others. Be outrageously generous, right? However, all it might take to simply assist this woman in the sense of fulfilling her desire is to enroll her 7-year-old son in a public school. Do this, and a note of gratitude will be expressed from within towards you in the form of sympathy. So, all she wants is for the child to get an education. Which parent does not want that, right? And not everybody knows the ins and outs of enrolling people in education. Some places, like where I live, public education is available and free of charge, but you have to enroll. There's need for supplies. There's a lot of things that go with being in school. Pick up, you have to work, have to pick up, drop off or pick up in that order. So perhaps what we can do is observe and offer for help. Maybe someone, either the man or the woman, are not going to accept help right away because they don't know us. But maybe with time, we'll build the relationships. Let's think about this together, because she's going to give an example next to someone who is ill, who isn't ill, right? Um, but then maybe we think about how difficult it is to ask for help. How many times in the past you had to ask for help, or you went to hang out with a friend and they didn't tell you they were in a difficult situation because they didn't want to bother us. So we always take this approach of looking into others people's needs, others' hope. That's the title of the chapter of the article. But also putting ourselves in their shoes. What if I was the one who had children to support and I didn't have the resources? And then I take a step forward, because we don't know if tomorrow we are the ones who are going to be in need. And she continues, many other cases, a sick person who will be comforted with 10 minutes and inspiring words. Yes, there's a lot of people in nursing homes, assisted living, who have children who are unable to visit them, or they're sick in hospitals and people have to work and they're not there. And if you have the time, volunteer. A young boy who would be happy to receive a slice of cake. Some people don't have the means to have those treats. The irritated neighbor who changed for the better when you friendly smile, with your friendly smile, or that of a friend locked in those domestic hardship, asking you for some phrases of peace and optimism that may bring the shadows to the light. So, no matter what we do, we want to have these phrases of peace and optimism, because the minimum we can do is say hi, to smile, to acknowledge people, to ask how they're doing and mean it and wait for a response, to be of service. We can pray for them, we can ask the mentors to intercede. That's the minimum as spiritists. Knowing of the web of relationships in both realms of life. Understanding that we come from many reincarnations, and today is the time that we are here to love one another, to expiate, to have trials, to have tests, so on and so forth. Learn how to stay out of your own worries, to understand the hopes of others and mitigate them when you can. So she's asking us to step away from our own little bubble and look out. Imagine if Jesus came and just looked at his own needs, he wouldn't be the Jesus that we know of today. He was always meeting people where they are, looking at their hopes, their own personal development. And that's what the angels do for us, our guardian angels and guides. We call them angels, but they're superior spirits. They're probably not winged either, right? It's just a visual. But then we think about how can I serve? How can I serve? How can I serve? Always about others. Because nowadays, the most we get is think about yourself, self-care, your first, your career, your this, your, and then what about the community? We've missed the glue that keeps us together, which is love. Working for a common goal of improving the lives of everybody, love of country, love of family, love. Of course, you have to take care of yourself, but even when you go to the gym to work out, you can still be of service by being kind to the attendants at the door, to not being grumpy about when people don't put the racks back or don't clean the equipment, to pray for everybody in there. There's a lot of ways of being of service as well. And she says, then, oops, you'll be serving when we try to understand and mitigate the hopes of others. You'll be serving in the mission of the angels, finding your own happiness. No superior spirit and spirit didn't come to say that we're going to find happiness by only doing things for ourselves. That's within the law of society. Even if you decide to go today to a mountain live by yourself, they say that's not very useful. That's wasting time. For every individual whom you decide to offer specks of help or crumbs of help, you make you a luminous piece of the presence of God. So every little light, every little piece of help produces a point of light. The spirits recognize you and I as serving, as willing to serve and ready for the work, right? Many are called, few are chosen. And they can say, okay, I can send someone to that person. They can help. They'll be able to be kind and peaceful and nice, right? Dear friends, this is from the book God Awaits by Meimei through Francisco Candido Xavier. And our dear Vanessa Saloni has a playlist on YouTube and Facebook where you can listen, or in SoundCloud, or you can listen to or take on this as well. So many, many ways for us to enjoy these beautiful teachings of Meimei through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. Dear friends, many blessings. Visit spiritistmagazine.org, spiritistmagazine@gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, or you can offer your services to the Spiritist movement. And God willing, I'll be back with you next week with another program. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.